Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcapper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. This is also another challenge accepted where we delve into the clan quests, taking certain factions against certain dungeons and seeing if we can win. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge thank you. I've been putting out more videos and it has been, I would say, largely successful. You guys have been watching more. Even the niche videos seem to be getting a little more traction. That's all I want is some upwards growth in this channel to keep things going, to keep me motivated, to ensure I bring you the latest and greatest of this channel. Now, on April 1st, I did do a fancy little April Fool's joke where I played Ace right up to the point that I clicked out in April Fool's. For those few that watched the entire 10 minutes of me rambling, which is 6 minutes of me rambling, 3 minutes of the actual joke, at the very end, I did say something that it was a double April Fool's. So for those of you who didn't catch the whole April Fool's joke, here it is. I am actually going to play Ace. I'm going to talk to John this weekend. John, if you're watching this, reach out to me. Saturday or Sunday, why don't we do a little Ace stream, a little Ace collab on Twitch? I'll record it. We'll play some geeky music rather than some good music. Apologies. And we'll do maybe like an hour intro as part of the stream at the beginning or the end of the stream, either or. And have a little fun with some Ace, some Awakened Chaos Era. Only because I want to dip my toes into what everyone is talking about. So we will do that. And if he isn't, and if you, John, if you're not available this weekend, we'll talk next weekend. It's not like we're in a rush to do it. But that said, this is about the Barbarians versus the Fire Knight. It is part 2 of this week's challenges. As I have said in the past, these clan quests are becoming more and more important because the clan shop is getting better and better. So here we are, clear the Fire Knight castle with champions from the Barbarians faction 10 times. You see I've already completed 3 times. This one is probably the easiest one I have done so far. Though it does have a mechanic, I don't think the inherent mechanic is harder than the Spider's Den. Making it a bit easier, I tried it with a couple of different options to see which was the fastest. I came up with this group. I'll show you their stats real quick, though I don't think it's so much about their stats, to be perfectly honest. We have Cantra. She's just under 200 speed. You can see 66,000 HP. This is the same as we had her when she was the weak affinity tank. So no difference there. 4K defense, 195 speed, 304 resistance, and 258 accuracy. The big reason to bring her in this time is because she does have a 2-hit plus a 3-hit. And that 3-hit does have opportunities to play some of the debuff, decrease speed and heal reduction and decrease attack, especially on that boss if we can get it on the right rotation, which is a bit tough. Ultimately, I could speed her up, but I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to just take champions first and only change their gear if it's absolutely necessary. We did use Scylla the Drakes instead of Cantra once. It was just a little bit longer. It honestly didn't make much of a difference between the two, but I think if I get good RNG, I believe that Cantra will be better because of those debuffs. So that's why we're going with her. We're bringing in Valkyrie. Valkyrie's going to keep us alive, especially saying we're not bringing in Syl. We need to keep alive with that shield. We also have strong counterattack. Now, this champion is built slightly differently, right? She's only got 5,400 defense. I know, only, but considering typically you want to build an accuracy or your defense on a Valkyrie around 7 to 8k, but this one's got a lot more accuracy and more speed because I use her as a counter in arena, specifically to Siphi, but we can use it for Duchess or any of the others as well. So she's a buff counter in arena for me, and I didn't want to change her that. She's also an immunity gear, so very good. I do have a second Valkyrie, but again, like I said, I don't want to change around gear unless absolutely necessary for these challenges. The third person of the group is Alika. Alika is our damage dealer. You can see here she does a ton of damage, 4,500, 225, only 225 crit damage, to be honest. I couldn't find a lot of gear for her, unfortunately, or I didn't have it by default. Only using her for Faction Wars right now, but does the job quite well in Savage. So that's Alika. Next up, we have who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, War Maiden. War Maiden. Who's the fifth? I'll show you War Maiden. War Maiden. She needs to be faster. But again, well, you know what? How's our speed there? Why don't we just That's an attack, defense. She doesn't need that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do it. I still don't think that she's... Oh, the other one's soulbound. So a War Maiden, the big thing is, of course, her decreased defense AoE for the waves. That's the reason she's there. After that, she's not really as important. And finally, we're bringing in Soulbound Boyer. You may recognize her build. Very similar. I think I changed her weapon. So she has a closer crit damage. She's also strong affinity against the force affinity. And then, of course, she's the lead aura, so she's fine. We're good there. I couldn't get this to 85, and then I realized I didn't need it to 85, so I didn't, duh. But 225 accuracy. She's got that depletion. Now, it does require RNG to get to this on the rotation, but the damage she can do is very strong as well. So overall, very good champion to have in there. So those are the champions I'm bringing in. Let's just start it, see what happens. I'm 2 for 2 with this particular rotation, 3 and 4.5 minutes, so we'll see. The waves is definitely not an area of concern. You can see Alika deletes people. You'll watch Soulbound, she does pretty good. That skill's actually her weakest skill, I would say. Cantra's probably the not hitting as hard as she can, but you see the numbers. That's unfortunate. She used her counterattack there. You can never get away champions from doing that. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how hard you try, she just doesn't want to go, oh, there's only a handful of health, let's not use our top AoE skill. But then you know what would happen, and this is, anytime they program it to use that kind of logic, they use that logic when they shouldn't. So I guess, be careful what you wish for. All right, so here we are at the boss, 1 minute in. That's a pretty reasonable fight considering we're not really running a speed group here. This one's the toughest one to break through, to be honest. We actually have a pretty good rotation. We should have the full counters up. Please? No. Oh, no. No, that's unfortunate. But, well, we have 4 of the 5, so that's okay. And that's the big deal. That's why counterattack is so... Counterattack's actually how the Fire Knight used to be tackled. Way back in the early days of Raid, is having a counterattack champion is how you got through this until cracked the code. Now, Allure used to be okay on this, but she used to use all of her skills, which is an unfortunate thing for her because her A1 also didn't work quite the same. So when they changed it, so on the Fire Knight, she always uses her A1 unless it's less than 30% turn meter on the boss. That made a huge deal, a huge difference in this in these versions. Also keep in mind, Allure was weak affinity to this to 20, so once they went 21 to 25, that made her a much bigger deal. You can see we didn't land that heal debuff, but we did land the depletion. So that should be okay if we can get around. God, she still didn't. That's twice she didn't land it. It's only a 50. Anytime it's a 50, I would rather build the small version of a debuff at 100% than the big version of the debuff at 50%. Because as you can see, though we did get the decrease attack, but as you can see, that's Cantra twice not landing the block heal, which on the Fire Knight, if you are not keeping that shield open, is kind of important for speed. So I blame RNG for this, as always. There we go, another one, and still 0 for 3 on that. We did get the turn meter depletion though, so that's good. It just like, I think Plarium doesn't understand when they do these. They're like, well, they're an epic, so let's give them 75% chance. But giving someone a 75% chance to do something, basically, it lack of a better, it cucks them. It makes them subpar, right? It makes them, in some respects, useless because it's not 75% chance to happen. It's 25% chance not to happen. Like there's her 5th. She is 0 for 5 now, if I'm counting right here, on that heal. Now, it doesn't matter. We're going to kill him here. Pretty easy, 344. But that's 0 for 5. And so, that's not what this challenge is about, but it does happen to bring up something pretty poignant, and that is Plarium. I promise you, and I think if you were to do it, I'd build more videos about it and would do it. I would rather have 100% on a skill that is the smaller version than 50% on the bigger, or even 75%. Because the RNG means that, you know, if there's 5, 1 or 2 of those champions will not have the debuff at all. And at least when I know they have the baby, even if it's just a 30% decreased defense, for example, but it's at 100%, I can use that. I can figure out how to use that because all the champions have it. And I think we've conditioned ourselves to think otherwise, but I think you would find more people would use rares and epics that had that baby, the baby weaken, the baby defense down, the baby attack down, if it was 100% on these champions. Maybe I'm wrong. And of course, once you get the bigger version of any of those, you probably would stop. But, you know, it seems weird. Like War Maiden, for example, 100% chance to put a decreased defense. Why does she have that and I have epics that have only 75% chance on the AoE? It just baffles. And there's a couple of legendary champions. There's legendary champions that have the baby version. Ethos, for example, a small version of Weaken on his A2. Anyway, enough bitching. There it is. Challenge accepted. Challenge answered and conquered. Fire Knight Castle Barbarians taken down. I appreciate it once again. If you do want to support this channel, it is very simple. Click that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, give it a thumbs up, and move on to the next one. Thank you all for joining me. Please, as always, be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.